Hello, welcome to Walford United WFC. Hello and welcome to Walford United with me, John Foster, MUFC. Friday Night Fans Forum. Already got people in the comments and watching. Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it. Joining me today is Andy and Atanu. Jack will be joining us a little bit later. Andy, how you doing, mate?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Looking at that calendar and wishing I could jump in the time machine for 7 days, but we'll probably get there. Week to go.
100%, absolutely. Karen, John, evening, guys. Literally 7 days to go. We'll discuss that as well. Stuart, welcome, mate. Atanu, how you keeping, bud?
Yeah, thanks, John, for having me. I'm doing good.
Good. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you. And like I say, we have got Jack joining us hopefully halfway through. So he'll be at about 7:30. So I'm really interested to hear what he thinks of Skinner, because I think this will be the first time that I've spoken to him on a podcast about it. So he's always got some different views and different ways of looking at things. So I can't wait to get him on board. I can't do a Man United podcast today on 27th of August and not talk about our men's team. Cristiano Ronaldo back to United. Did we ever think it was ever going to happen? I think we was all kind of fantasising over it for like the last few years. I can't believe it, to be honest. It's happened so quickly. I always thought that the City thing was a bit far-fetched. I never really thought we were going to go to City, but to actually come back to United is massive. 25 million. I know the wages are massively high, but Atanu, I know that you're a fan of the men's team as well. What did you think about how sudden it was and how quickly it's happened?
You know, it was like yesterday there were rumors that he might join City. So it was like, okay, he's finished for us. He doesn't exist for us anymore. And he's betrayed us. But, 24 hours later, it's about, yes, he's joined us. So that sums it up, actually. And I hope, we win something big this season. And, of course, I mean, every season we've seen that we are linked to us. And this season we weren't linked to us and he joined us. So maybe we should have not been linked to us a long time back.
Yeah, I know obviously Juventus have been struggling financially and it's probably coming at a good time. We can get a bit of money for him. But they could get a bit of money for him while they could. I am going to bring somebody else in just to have their say on Ronaldo. You all right, mate? How you doing, Nancy? Okay?
Yeah, man. Viva Ronaldo. I was on Sophie's stream early this afternoon, about 2:00. And we just went live as soon as it said City had pulled out. And bang, I just said he's coming home. And she went, I'll do a stream when he comes back, but I'm going camping. She went, I bet she's camping now. And I've just joined. And I just love it. I love seeing Tooney tweet, Rambo tweet, Fran Bentley tweet, Smithy tweet, Jess tweet, Katie tweet.
Even
Beth Mead.
Yeah.
Who else tweeted? I saw CSK, Courtney Sweet and Kurt, big United fan. Obviously, I didn't know she was, but she is.
Awesome.
Tweeting about it. Seen Bex Rayner from Sheffield liking a few things. Who else was seeing? Leslie going, wow. Everyone's like, wow. Bloody, who was the other one? Ellie Leake, who plays for Blackburn, but is with Martha Thomas, and she went, sorry, I'm going to have to get Ronaldo, not Thomas, on the back of my shirt. And even Martha goes, don't blame you, mate. Yeah? See Meg Harris, Martha Harris, Chloe Casey. It's mad.
Yeah.
He could have never gone to City. I knew he was never going to go to City. I think it was just all, I don't think we realised he actually wanted to leave. I think we've been through this circle. Karen's Maria trying to get Hangeland next year. I don't know if he said his name right.
Yeah, Haaland, yeah.
Haaland, that's it.
Yeah.
But he was never going to go. It's just, I don't think we didn't realise that he was actually going to leave. Then the minute he was in Juventus and he had said he wanted to leave, so the minute Allegri said he's actually leaving, that's when obviously it all kicked in and actually, shit, he is actually leaving. He's on a plane now. Boom, let's get on the phone. Let's sort it out. Bish, bash, bosh. It's like Berbatov when he came. I don't really want to go City. Now Viva Ronaldo.
It shows it can be done so quickly as well. Now that we was monitoring him for a while, thinking, okay, so how much will it cost roughly, or what's the chances are? But as soon as it suddenly started to happen, it happened, and it got announced all within one day. And it's kind of what United fans are saying. Chelsea have done it in the past, in the last couple of years. If they wanted someone, they've gone and done it right away. And obviously, we've gone and done it right away. I was never worried about City. I think the thing that got me was when it came out saying that Ronaldo's been offered to City. Well, what does that mean, offered to City? Because there's no deal between them. Why should they offer it to City? If he's up for sale, he's up for sale. And for 25 million, we've got still there 25 million. Sancho was out of last year's money. Varane, obviously, a very good price for his quality. So all of a sudden, on the men's side, it's looking quite rosy, isn't it? Nathan, let's stick with yourself just before I bring Andy in. Obviously, I've been at work today, so I've only been getting snippets. But what's kind of been the story of the day? You said that you went live at 2:00. What kind of announcements were being made then throughout the day? What kind of things?
Early in the morning, I tweeted, "He's not going anywhere. There's no way." Because obviously, late last night, I was actually listening to our brothers on All for United Dementia. I know Ben did a Spaces, and I was listening last night, and everyone was saying he's dead to me and this kind of stuff, and there's no way. And United is sort of interested, but you don't want to deal with this, and they don't want to do that, and should we buy this? We need a defensive midfielder. So there's all that. And then so early in the morning, I tweeted, not off anything, just off my own back. This is how I felt. And I just said, there's no way he's going to join Man City. And then a few people replied to me going, oh, it's already a done deal. He's definitely going. Terms have agreed. I say a big journalist was in my DMs and I was speaking to them, and they were saying, yeah, definitely going to City. There's no way it's going to United. As far as we understand, this is it. Sending me their articles. And I was like, listen, there's no way. I just said, there was nothing I was saying it off. I think people thought I was being truthful. I didn't know anything. I just said, there's no way he is going to City. And I think I said it because Man United is everything. Man United, the way that we idolise, a lot of, our fans that say, Messi over Ronaldo over Messi are Man United fans. There's so many Man United fans. So for him to have done that, he would have knocked off loads of value off his name, loads of followers probably. He probably would have got loads of followers and he probably would have kept a load, but he just would have tarnished everything. I look at all Sky doing monologues now of all these pictures and all these goals and all everything and celebrations and pictures of the trophy. All that would have been gone. There's no way that those images, would never have been used again. Him winning through Champions League, first trophy, never would have been banished. No one would have used them again. Whereas now, it's all coming back out and it's all this. And, I see when Fabrizio tweeted, here we go for Ronaldo, and when he tweeted, here we go for Messi, it's like 100,000 more tweets. And so in the morning, everyone was saying, it's done to City, it's done to City, it's done to City. And then he was on the plane early morning. I think Allegri said he's definitely leaving. Everyone was saying he's coming to Manchester. He's on a plane now, going Manchester. And then as soon as he was stepping off the plane, or must have been probably when the plane was in the air, they were saying City had pulled out. And then that was, like I said, around 2:00. United is showing interest. Ollie came out and said, we're here. That's all he said. And then that was it. Boom.
Yeah.
And now he's back. Yeah, shows the money's are there. I agree with what John just said then. I think that's another one to bring back. Tobin now. And for me, it's going to bring so much more money to the club. But someone was saying, does that mean that Glazer's off the hook? No. Glazers are not off the hook. If anything, I think it brings more interest, more eyes on United, more chance that United fans need to be behind the Man United supporters trust. Sign for United, buy in shares. You can buy a share. I think it's only, I think it's going to be relatively cheap to buy a share. But if 1 million people buy shares, then we've got basically not half a club. But then these are the same voting rights as the Glazers. So we're all sitting here saying, we want money. We want them to spend money on Tobin. We want them to spend money on training facilities. We want them to spend money on getting the best women's team. Well, for them to do that, let's put our money into it, sign for United, and buy a part of this football club and change the direction and force them to be about the women's team. Yeah, go down there, support the women's team. We've got this channel to keep going, but definitely sign for United, get on it. Everyone should be on it. If you're not signed up, message us, message John, message Mus, message Supporters Club, message me. Sign for United. You can search it in Google. Sign up now. 75,000 or 77,000 have signed up already, but there's more United fans. There's people who watch here every day. So sign for United. Like John says, the money's there. Get Tobin signed up. I don't think it's going to happen. I think she wants Champions League. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be the difference. But there's quality players there to be had. I mean, I've seen some story about... I know, sorry if I'm going off topic now, but I've seen a story about Black Stenius.
Black Stenius, yeah.
Stenius, she can't go now. She's going to go in January.
That's fine.
So there you go.
Yeah.
For me, that's what I think it's going to be. They won't get someone now, which is unfortunate. I think we should get something now, but I think get someone in January. And if it's Black Stenius or someone from the Norway or Swedish league, that's where we know we need. That's what I suppose the men are in a way crying out for a CDM, and the women are crying out for a forward or winger.
That's a lovely passion, and it's great to see. And I'm going to talk a bit more about Tobin shortly, but Andy, just want to hear your kind of thoughts on that men's signing before we move on. It is massive when a legend comes back to the club, and not only a legend, him and Messi are the best players of our generation, and now coming back to United, it is a massive, massive deal.
Oh yeah, completely. I mean, I was in the office today, and it was like something magical happened to all the United fans. And they were just they got an injection of passion, and I think it's going to make it even more, strong support. And I think, all right, he's been away from United for a while, but it's clear that's where his heart and his head is. Because if it wasn't, he would have signed for City, or he would have, gone to Qatar or made some money. Whatever the deal is, and he's come back for to have that passion and to come and hopefully help us kick on in the Prem, and obviously go even further than we did last season. I worry if he's 36 and the position that he plays, are you going to get the full contract out of him before he becomes a bit of a sort of totem pole? But saying that, he's going to be a great example for you young players as well, isn't he, and stuff like that. And you're going to get at least a year out of him, and I think he's going to be great for the men's side. I think
it's still so talented as well. Like I say, 36, but he's still got the physique and the physicality of like a 26-year-old. So he has really looked. But
just to jump on what Nat was saying, and I completely second everything that she said. I mean, God, I'd go in a battle for you, Nat. I tell you, I missed her speech, and I'm looking forward to seeing you face to face on Friday. But no, I completely agree. Get behind the club, get behind the badge, men's, women's, under 23s, whatever, devs, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they're playing for the badge. We support the badge. Mm-hmm. And Glazers or no Glazers, you show the quality of the club by being that quality fan and being behind everything to do with United. And that's definitely something that, once you start, you can't stop really. But just to touch briefly on Tobin, yeah, I'd love to have her back. I mean, these lot have been weighing me down last few weeks. Having going, give us strikers, and every bloody striker that I mentioned goes to an opposing club. So then I finally decided to sort of chill that out a bit. But I'd love to have her back. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're sorted for this season, for this window. I think the clue in that is because we win Scotland for a week, and that was a whole about bonding the team, wasn't it? So I don't see how we would bring someone in at this late stage. But as Nat was saying, January was out with Casey, but maybe it's not with Skinner. And, we could get a fresh kick. The NWSL, for example, if it's an American signing, they'll be in their off season at that point. There's plenty of opportunities to give us that boost, going into the next part of next year. I'd love Tobin. I mean, I think she genuinely loved United. She kissed the badge. I genuinely believe that was true. That was a massive moment last season. But I don't think she's coming back. So I'm trying to chill out a bit really about it.
Can I just add one person who I'd love to see, and Andy made me think of it by mentioning NWSL and off season. Ebony Salmon, mate.
Yeah.
Ebony Salmon.
Yeah.
Period. The end, mate. Even if it was just for 6 months, I don't care, mate. I mean, I don't know when she would come back. If I don't know, if you can see Catherine in there, she might know.
I'm going to put that comment on screen.
A bit more about NWSL when it starts and when they can come. And I think that she would only come in November to January if she was going to come. But I'd love to see that. That would just be fantastic. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, who knows? Catherine's comments on screen, and Catherine was on the show last night. It was amazing. Over 160 people have already watched that show in 24 hours. She was on with Stuart Barker from Sin 71. Amazing show, very inspirational, very knowledgeable guests, and it was great. So if you haven't seen that show yesterday, please just go back when you can and just watch the Thursday show because it really was good. Catherine's put Tarbin Heath, the quote from the Equaliser, which came out a 3 days ago now, wasn't it? Saying Tarbin Heath is weighing up her options in Europe per a source. Playing in the UWCA is a priority for Heath, and staying in England appears to be the most desirable option. So that narrows it down to 3 teams, but I've still got. It depends if that's true, and she would prioritise Champions League over United, then obviously she's not going to come to United. But if Champions League doesn't mean as much to her, then surely we would be the first choice in England, having played for us and loving the club. So that's kind of what I'm hanging on to. Does Champions League mean that much to her? If it does, then yeah, okay, you got to kind of hold your hands up. Atanu, let me just hear your thoughts on the biggest news of this week has been Tarbin Heath kind of coming out and saying she wants to play in Europe. England is desirable, or whatever the quote was. What are your thoughts on when you heard that?
I mean, first of all, I was fascinated by the idea. Maybe she plays in front of United fans at LSV in a United shirt. Let's be clear. Yeah. So, but as Natalie said that according to the news, she wants UWCL football and she wants to stay in Europe. Of course, UWCL football. So I don't think it's possible, but I would love to have her back here because obviously, first, like I said, that playing in front of the fans would be a surreal experience for her. And of course, we somewhat lack in attack right now. So having Tobin Heath, having her experience would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And just going on, Catherine, just kind of give us a bit more information here before we move on to another topic. The NWSL ends in November and pre-season starts in February. She has a 2-year contract with Racing, so realistically, no loans are possible, as it would mean her missing the NWSL. Presume that's Ebony Salmon right there. So yeah, interesting stuff, and we'll get Catherine back on the show at some point as well because that was a great topic. We've got Jack joining us soon, I think. So we'll move on to one of our next topics. Andy, did you want to bring in the debate about the men's stadiums?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're all chuffed we're going to go to King Power. I mean, that's going to be great for the for our first away. More so for those that don't follow the men's. I've not obviously been to the King Power before. It did get me thinking. I mean, definitely that's where we want to eventually end up. Where and I think it would happen. That we will start. At least half filling. Some of the men's stadiums, definitely. But I'm just wondering what people's views are on whether or not it's just a couple of steps a bit further up. Like Leicester are going to have all their home games that don't clash at the King Power. They haven't got our support, so they're not going to be anywhere near filling it. Obviously, Old Trafford's one of the biggest stadiums in the country. And yeah, I definitely want to see our girls play at Old Trafford. But like what Casey said, I mean, wouldn't we want to just sort of increase the quality of the stadiums in the league first? Maybe get the LSV filled on a regular basis. But then there's the counter argument to that. With the LSV is basically in the middle of nowhere. It's right at the end of Greater Manchester. It's very doable. I encourage anyone to get to it. We'll do our best to help you along. But I mean, would it actually speed it up if we had an LSV in the middle of Manchester? Definitely. But I was just thinking as well about maybe some of the other clubs should look at some better stadiums that are sort of in the middle. I mean, I've been to Kings Meadow now. I mean, it's AFC Wimbledon's ground. It's it's not the highest quality, but then you get that closer pitch interaction, which we could lose. Obviously, with some of the Prem stadiums designed for Prem matches. I was looking online before, and I was thinking, I've seen a picture of, was it West Ham Stadium, the London Stadium? You could put a bungalow in the gap between the pitch and the side there. It'd be quicker to write a letter than to get an autograph out of some of the players because you're that far away. That's the other side of it, isn't it? So, me personally, I'm glad to do a couple of standout games in the Prem Stadium, but I think we should be lobbying to get the rest of the league get their act together and get better stadiums for their team, really.
Yeah, I'll jump on that, and then obviously I can hand that one over to you as well, Nat. But I'm very similar to yourself, Andy. I'm not opposed to one game a season. It's like one game a season at Old Trafford. If that's what we need to do to either put it on TV or raise awareness, or even just for the players, then it's a good day for them. Obviously, a good day for us. We know how excited they were when they played at Old Trafford without fans last season. So I think it's good all round to have one game. But to me, it's a lot more meaningful if we could fill LSV or even just half fill it, as opposed to just having it at Old Trafford. Because even if it was there once, and we heavily promoted it, you get 30,000-40,000 like we do with the Etihad. But you're not going to heavily promote it week in, week out, so you're never going to get 30,000-40,000 people turn up, are you? So there's going to be the majority of the time less than 3,000-4,000 fans there. So for me, it's not something that we should be looking at doing anytime soon. As for the others, we are lucky that we have got LSV, which is a very, very nice stadium. Whereas, as you mentioned, the Kings Meadow and other stadiums aren't as nice as ours. Location's always been an issue, and I'll always come up in conversation because it is such an issue for people who have to take public transport. And it is, even though it's in Greater Manchester, it is still a half an hour, 25-minute drive away, and that's obviously in a car. If you have to take buses and taxis or whatever, it might be different. So it is a shame that the distance is out the way for fans. But going back to your point regarding men's stadiums, I don't think United are in a position where we need to be even considering that. I can understand why other clubs would be. I'm not too sure where Leicester played last season. If we had Craney or Gareth on the show, Gareth in the comments, if you're still watching, Gareth, let us know what that stadium was like. But not good. Yes, I can kind of understand that. I can kind of understand why some clubs would choose to go for the men's if their current one isn't very good. But because ours is actually quite good and we want to make it our home, it kind of works for me. But Nat, do you want to kind of carry on with that?
Yeah. No, it was. Where Leicester played, it was decent. I liked it. It was. It wouldn't have met criteria anyway because I think the pitch wasn't fully grass or whatever. So it's good. It's good. I'm 50-50 on it. I'm 50-50, and I think it's sort of. I've spoke to other people about it. I even spoke to Rich. If you go back and look on Wednesdays, we discuss sort of the level of growth. We talk about the Championship, but we just talk about how the WSL is sort of now a mini Premier League in a way. If you look at it, I'm not saying I want it to be that, but that's the way it's sort of going. West Ham, Spurs, who came up. Obviously, we came up. Leicester now. You're not seeing where you're seeing Bristol going down, and obviously you saw Liverpool go down, which obviously is shocking the way they're pushing to come back up and. Probably won't even come back up. But, you're seeing the big Premier League teams dominating and, you talk about the stadiums that they're at. For me, I think we've got the best stadium. Yeah, I'd love it to be closer. I'd love it to be easier. I'd love it to be sort of in Manchester. There are stadiums in Manchester. Probably they don't want to use them. Salford, FC. You can't see United share with any of them. You want basically where... If anyone knows Man United around that area, you want sort of where Trafford Bar is, where the Trafford Bar tram stop is. There's a police station. I think it's semi-used, or they're moving out. But there's definitely a lot of derelict land there. And there's talks that Gary Neville was buying it up for his hotel, but apparently Man United are buying it up. So I think that is the aim, to basically have a stadium where the academy and the women's team play. That would be like close, not local. I mean, if we did play regularly at Old Trafford, I think we'd get a lot of people. I think we'd get people who would just come to Old Trafford. So, and I think then they would get into the women's football. And I think for games like City, Arsenal, Chelsea, you get loads, but then it's games like Reading, Bristol, say Durham in the Conte that you probably wouldn't get as enough, and it's not worth it then in the end. So that's the only thing. And I mean, Leicester are playing the majority, like they said. The majority don't mean everything, so it could be that they play. I'm trying to think, like when they play Birmingham, they play it at their other ground because it's not, it's not really viable in a way. Whereas when they play Man United, when they play City, when they play this, when they play whoever else, they're going to play it at the King Power. And, I'm happy for them. I'm happy that they're doing that. It's good. It's a strange one with stadiums for me and what the answer is in terms of that. I know Rich Lafferty says even some now championship teams are going to play a lot of their games at, probably Liverpool are going to play a game at Anfield again. Sheffield are going to play a game at Bramall Lane. Charlton probably will play a game at their stadium. We've even seen with like you said before, John, Birmingham, they were always having problems with their stadium, so they've moved to the men's. So there's probably going to be less problems. It's probably going to get played all the time. And maybe that was the thing with Leicester. Maybe they thought, we could move to this other ground, but it might not get played as much, so we don't want to have cancellations. Let's just have it at King Power, Whereas we know with LSV, the only cancellation is when we had the storm and the roofs were falling off. The roofs were falling off at Man City, not, at LSV. So we know that LSV, undersoil heating, all that kind of stuff. So we know we're always going to get games there. It's one of them. I'm for like big games, women's football weekend or a derby or whatever, or a cup winning semi-final or something like that. I'm all for that. Every game, like you say, unless it's like with the Birmingham situation where you want a better one, I'm with you. I think no, let's keep it at our home. We love our home, so why not?
And Tony, just your thoughts. Obviously, living in India, obviously you don't get able to come and see the games, but for someone who watches it on TV, you watched us in Glasgow, so you kind of saw on the TV where the crowd was, and it looked full on the TV because obviously the cameras was only on one side, and that one stand was pretty full. And what would you kind of want to see on the TV? Would you kind of want to see playing a fantastic stadium but hardly see any fans, or would you kind of want to see a smaller ground where we're so close to the players that's basically rocking, even though it's a smaller ground?
I think, slowly and steadily, maybe we can transition from LSV to Old Trafford. But as of now, I would love to, see a packed LSV and, you where you can't even hear the commentary and you just hear the fans chanting and clapping. That's what I would want to, even if it's from thousands of miles away, I would love to see that. And of course, I mean, yes, the women's team also deserves to play at Old Trafford, but we can transition it slowly and steadily. And of course, maybe 1 or 2 games a season would actually help them a lot.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. And do you just want a quick point before we move on to
Yeah, just to sort of put a bow on that, so to speak. Yeah, I was just thinking, actually, I think that's right. It's going to solve some of the problems. I mean, some of the teams in the league seem to use the fact that they can't play a game as a tactical advantage. But enough about the other side, the other club in the Liverpool City region. No, I'm only jesting there a little bit, but no, I think hopefully we can show the way. I think that we are showing the way, and we were getting, I think pre-COVID, we were pretty much getting the highest average attendance, or very close to the highest attendance in the WSL. It was quite similar to Chelsea, wasn't it, in that respect? And they've already hit their edge with Kingsmeadow. It only allows a few thousand people, I believe. So if we can, keep growing it, I suppose that was saying, if we can get large attendances or large-ish compared to the rest of the league from the LSV, then how easy is it going to be to do it when we actually get it in Manchester? Which hopefully, if that comes through, that'll be the great. I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to going to the Premier League because I haven't got the men's experience. I don't follow the men's team, so yeah, I think you're right. I've got a bit of blooming heck, I get to go to King Power. Maybe I'll get to go to the I've been to the Etihad, but maybe I could go to Stamford Bridge. All these famous places. But ultimately, we've got to bring everybody up, I think, haven't we?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. We're going to move on. I want to bring Jack in, but before we do, I've got a little banner across the screen there with a finalist in the FCAs. So if you haven't seen this on our Twitter or if you haven't seen this on our YouTube, we have actually been nominated as one of the finalists in the best in women's football content. So if you don't know how to vote, please just go to our Twitter. It's a pinned tweet. Just click a link, scroll down, choose the best in women's football content, and then just click our name. It's pretty much as simple as that. You don't need to sign up for anything. It's literally just click our name and click submit. Nat, I know that you know a bit more about this website than myself, but is that pretty much right?
Yeah, go down to Best in Women's Football, small business, because it'll say organisation, small business, or independent. Don't worry if you want to vote forever, but we're on the small business. Click our name and, like I said, submit. Also, if you're on Instagram, all for United WFC, get on that, and you can also vote on Instagram. If you go on the FSA. We always retweet the post and we'll show you, and you just type our name on that post. Like I said, the _FCAs. I think that's how you get it. And there's a post that says small business. So click on that and type our name on there. And if you enjoy our content, if you've been on, if you want to come on, just get on Twitter, get on Instagram, contact us, go and vote for us. Helps us. Got more great content coming, and I suppose the better we do, the better it is for everyone, isn't it, John?
Absolutely, yeah. It's great to be making this far, because we are about 3 weeks away from our 1 year anniversary, and to say that we've come this far in such a short time, it seems like it flew by. So any bit of support is very welcome and very appreciated. We really appreciate it. Jack, welcome to the show, mate.
Hi, nice to see everyone. Hi.
I'm really looking forward to hearing your views on Mark Skinner. So I'm going to come to that shortly, and any other topic you want to bring to the table. But before we do, Atanu, you wanted to kind of discuss some of the youngsters that's been playing under Skinner so far. Did you want to kind of mention that one, mate?
Yeah, so I was talking to Andy a few days back, and he actually talked about it. So I was like, okay, let's discuss about it in the next fans forum. So in the preseason, we saw many young players in the starting 11, or sometimes in the bench as well. Basically, in the match day squad, there was Tara Bone, Carrie Jones, Annie Hutchings. We signed her from Liverpool Academy this summer, if I'm not wrong. We signed Rebecca. We have Rebecca May, Niamh Murphy, Jessica Simpson. So many good players coming into the first team for the preseason. And of course, it was fantastic to watch all of them. Last season, we didn't watch much of Carrie Jones and Tara Bone, but from whatever we have seen this season, I think they are fantastic players. I would love to see more of the young players that I talked of. Especially, I think Jessica Simpson is one of the best ones. I've heard a lot on Twitter. Even Natalie talks about her a lot. So, of course, these are the players that I'm really looking forward to watching play in the first team. And of course, we lack some signings right now, and I don't think we'll be signing some more players. So maybe Mark Skinner is of the opinion that we might integrate these players into the first team. And of course, I wanted to I saw the under 21 registered players for this season. So there wasn't the name of Maria Edwards and Karna Soldier. So we all know that Karna Soldiers plays as a forward along with Carrie Jones. So maybe the two forwards that we are speaking of might be them. And I think Maria Edwards goes out on loan.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting debate there to be had, and I think you're right. Potentially no other signings, and it just gives our youth a chance in the Conti Cups and potentially the FA Cup a bit later on as well, potentially. Atanu said quite a few names there, and there is a lot of talent coming through, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%. Niamh has been there for a while. Rebecca May has been there for forever, not forever, but been there since young. So is Niamh. Niamh's a full-back, really good. Played a bit further forward, then dropped back versus Liverpool. I love Rebecca May. I think she's ready now for full-grown women's football, even if she just sort of got a loan and went out. But hopefully, Skinner will bring her through. Jess Simpson is one that is hyped a lot on Twitter. I say I've not really seen her play. I think she was in the 16s last year, came in late into the 21s. Played a bit in the 21s last year, and then now obviously Mark's played her a few times. I think she's basically 17. I think she's in the under 17 camp the other day at St George's. So I think she was in that. That's potentially why we didn't see her out in Scotland. Other than that, I think you mentioned obviously Carrie and Tara. They were in the team a lot last year. Tara is someone who I've watched, and now I see her playing at centre back, and I just think she's so much better as a defensive midfielder. I know it sounds really bad, and she can play wherever. She can play both. Yeah, it's great, but when she plays the football, it's so good. It's like I just love. It sounds so like, how can you say this, Natalie? She's only a kid. She's only 17, but some of the balls, if you see some of the way that she strikes the football and the way she can like ping a pass from 30 yards, oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's so good. And that's why I say she should play as a defensive midfielder because I think you're missing that when she's playing too deep in defence. I think she's going to be a good defender. She's very tall. She can have the ball and all that kind of stuff. But for me, I think Tara is in the midfield for me. But it is what it is. Carrie, we've seen her, the way she carries, the way she presses. I say she's like Tooney 2.0. I think when everyone watched that game versus Liverpool, they said the same thing. Even the game versus Rangers, and when we were watching, we were like saying, "Run, Carrie," and she was doing it. And, that's what she reminds me of. That's what she's always reminded me of. I think these two are basically confirmed first teamers. It's only a matter of time since we hear that they've signed deals, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know whether like both will go out on loan or more will go out on loan. I don't know. And then obviously we hear about, it was a strange not hearing Chloe Williams, Kana Solskjaer and Maria, that they weren't named. But is it because maybe like what you said, Atanu, Mark's going to name them in the first team? I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Not registered for the devs because they're going to be registered for the first team. For me, I think it's Maria. I think if we're keeping her, I just think like Rebecca, beyond 21 football now. I think with 21 football, you see like, because it's not like the men's where they have the under 18s. They have under 16s, under 21s. So it's basically 17/18s playing in the 21s. And obviously you can get, your 19, your 20s. But for me, I think Maria's beyond that. And I think she should be playing first team. And she played first team in Blackburn last year. So I think she should be playing in first team. I know I'm going to let everyone else speak now.
I think Maria Edwards in the preseason also scored 4 goals in the recent game. I think we all saw on Twitter, on Instagram, that she posted a story saying I scored 4 goals.
Of course she did. Water's wet, mate. Maria scores goals.
Go on, Andy. I know you wanted to have a bit of a say on this one as well.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I mentioned it to Atanu when we spoke previously, but I think, United have always brought through the young players on the men's side, and we all love Casey and all that kind of thing. But one of the things that did surprise me is, the amount of devs that sort of just went on the bus for the ride. I mean, I know obviously it was pre-season. I know that Rangers pre-season gives more opportunity for young players to get some game time. But I think Skinner has already played most of the devs more than Casey's done in 3 years of being our manager, 2 years of being our manager. It's just a fact. And, and United brings through. The thing about bringing through an academy player, I think, and it might have been lost more in modern football, is that fosters a love from the badge. If you brought them in and they've made you a professional, apart from anything else, that's what brings up that core. You see that when United reformed, and obviously people like Katie Vellum, Ella, that were already in the devs before United played. They have a sort of like a homecoming kind of feel to it. And I think, we're not going to sign any more players full stop this window. And I think maybe the way around that, I appreciate it's not perfect, is to give Maria, is to give Carrie an opportunity. Maybe only for 10 minutes, I don't know, but they're not going to get better sitting on the bench. And I know you can't wait. You have to build their fitness. You can't just throw them in all the time, otherwise they can struggle with their development. But I think really it could be our secret sauce if Skinner actually looks at the devs and gets a defined pathway between under 18s, and then the next stage, and then the first team, because apart from anything else, it'll give that. If you see Devs getting games, if you see Maria, you see Carrie getting games, it's going to encourage them to push harder in their own training because you've got a chance of playing for United, and it might be quite a cost-effective way. Without sounding like an accountant, because I know Glazer, I'm not saying that Glazer should put the money where his mouth is, but how great would it be if we got a homegrown striker that's come through, starts banging it in, and we develop them. So I think I'm really pleased about. Maybe it's a link to Jack now about Skinner, but I'm glad he's now seen that he can put Devs on, because I don't think other managers, Casey, saw that really. And it's nothing more frustrating than thinking, well, why have you not played them even for 5 minutes?
I think that's a great point, and it's a great way to link Jack in. Jack, you've not been on the show, I don't think, since Skinner's actually been officially announced. First of all, how are you? How have you been? And secondly, what are your first thoughts on Mark Skinner?
I'm good, yeah. Has it been that long? What are my feelings about it? I think, to begin with, the first thing that I did when we were linked to him is, I think, something that everyone did, which is look him up on Google, look at his Wikipedia page, look at the wins, losses, and statistics and all that kind of thing. At Birmingham, it seemed like he did a relatively good job. I don't know if it went that well in the US for him, although maybe there's like mitigating factors in there with the COVID and all that kind of thing. I maybe expected or wanted, I don't know if expected, but wanted maybe someone that had a bit more of an established pedigree in terms of trophies. But with that said, you have to give the guy time. You have to see what he's worth, give him a chance. And hopefully it's all for the best. He looks like a positive character, coming in hopefully with his own ideas about how to implement things. I mean, we know that in terms of signings and decisions, a lot of what has been put in place over the last few months was still with either with Casey's blessing or with her fingerprints on them. Yeah. So he is kind of working from someone else's blueprint, but maybe he's working from United's blueprint, and that's good that maybe there's continuity between one manager to the next. So hopefully it doesn't matter necessarily that it's a different person. He can just keep going on that United way. But obviously, I'm hoping to see his take on that blueprint and what he does. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing. It's been mentioned about the development team. I don't follow it that closely, admittedly, but I'm excited about other different players hopefully getting opportunities. I'm excited about hopefully not seeing the same kind of football, same rigid tactics and team selections and all that kind of thing. I want to see something different. And even before Casey left, there were messages between me and a few others about wanting to see something different, not necessarily wanting Casey to leave, but wanting to see her evolve. She's decided not to do that. She's decided to go. So hopefully we can see something different and evolve under a different manager. I do think, though, that, you're obviously not going to see what exactly he's implementing until maybe 3, 6, even 12 months down the line. I think it is important to give time to it. I wouldn't like to say how the season's going to start. I'm hopeful. I don't see any reason why we can't make a good start. But if we do have a few results that maybe don't necessarily go our way, I think it's important to see where we are around mid-season, see where we are around February, March, see where we are in the cup competitions as well. That to me was one of the most disappointing things when Casey left, was that we were knocked out of the last cup competition. I know that it's a strange one because it's the FA Cup that was played last season, but it's going to continue this season. And there's also this season's FA Cup, so we're back in the FA Cup, and mind blown. So yeah, I want to see what we do in those, and I feel, we saw under Casey, a couple of semi-finals, a couple of matches in the FA Cup, Reading, and last season with Leicester, obviously, where we could have gone further and we didn't. And even I look at the City game in the FA Cup when, first of all, we had, again, shocking defensive displays and the goal that never was from Abbey Mack. So I want to see things. So I'm excited. I want to see what the plan is, and to see something new. Beyond anything, let's see something new.
I think Jackie said a lot of points there, and I'll bring Natalie in on this as well. I think one of the things that stuck in my mind that what you said there is try something new, but it might take a few months for it to come to fruition. Nat, I don't know if you'd agree with this, but from the matches that I've seen, I think we can already see what he's trying to do. He's just actually perfected it quick enough, because there's a big difference between Reading and Rangers. So we need to get in there right away, don't we?
Yeah, I think we're playing Brighton this Saturday. I think it is Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember the exact day, sorry guys, but playing Brighton, and I think that's going to be the real test. I think what we saw versus Liverpool, it was this very first day, really. We probably didn't take them half the week. We saw different things, but yeah, it was sort of like Casey stylish, you know what I mean? But when we went up to Rangers, it was totally different. I've not seen, when I'm sure, I don't know if you watched it, Jack, but that was what you say, something new. And I know it's Rangers, but it was a totally different style. It was totally different in the way that they were passing the ball. They were passing it quicker. They were passing it more fluid. They were sharp. They weren't just, go for the wing, go for Leah, run at them, cross it in. Oh, it didn't work, try again. It was pass it to Leah. If it didn't work for Leah would come back, build it up, pass it down the right, pass it, it was quick, but it was quick the way they were moving it across. And yeah, it's Rangers. So, we might not get that time to move the ball quickly like that in a WSL. I don't think we will, but it was just refreshing to see, like what Jack says, something different. We're not saying, we didn't want Casey, and I think Casey has done great things. I think the fact that, the first season we went and, we didn't really get embarrassed against the big teams when teams, you still see Everton getting beat 3-4-0 against some of these, Chelsea and stuff like that. That's never happened to us. So I think, Casey, for whatever we say, she did well, and that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about, I suppose, this guy. Even though his style looks good, how's it going to play out? How has he got enough? Can the players play it, well enough? And I think at the minute, it looks good. Looks good. I think Brighton, that's going to be the big test, because that's going to show, right, we've had 3-4 weeks with you. Now it's sort of the week before. This is when we should be at our best. And then obviously the Reading game, they're a bogey side for us. We've never really beaten Reading by the highest. We've beaten them by 2-0. And we went there and won 2-1. So, they've always had card, maybe, in a way. Whereas if now he goes in there and plays a different way, plays fast moving football, they're going to come with 2 banks of 4, no doubt about it. So, maybe his style might not work against them. So how quickly is he going to adapt it? And that's what is going to be the test for him, I think. And I think he has to sort of win against Reading. Or, the way I looked at it is sort of like we've got, I expect, at least 10 points the first 5 games. I know that's might be ambitious to some people, but I think we've got 3 simple-ish fixtures. And then, obviously, we've got Chelsea and City in the middle of the 2, so probably a draw, a loss, and then 3 wins. Why not? I don't know. I suppose we're gonna have to be patient with him, but I back him. I hope, that he is the one that's chosen not to go for a striker, whether that is sort of him and sort of the board and sort of this. But I think he'll probably have his chance in January from stuff that I've heard and stuff like that. I don't know. Or he might feel like he's good. Like we talk about a lot of these Carrie and Jess and this and that. They all might be, scored 10 goals each, so he might not need anyone in January. And, Leslie might be firing, and Thomas might never have been injured, and Liam might never have been injured, but we know what it's like. Long season, you need a bit more depth, I think, for next year. But it is what it is. I'm excited, nervous, but I'm just happy to be back and watching football and watching them like regularly and, getting behind them properly. And I just love to hear as well what Andy and Atanu and you, John, think of Skinner basically so far and what you think he might do.
Yeah, if I could just jump in there, I just very briefly, because obviously I'm on more shows, so I say my bit quite a bit, so I want to hear a bit more about Andy and Atanu's thoughts. But for me, when I think of Skinner at the moment, I think of 2 things. 2 things stand out: his motivation for players and his enthusiasm. I can imagine how enthusiastic and how upbeat he is on the training ground and behind closed doors as well. So I think his own passion sticks out for me. And secondly, his change of tactics, his style of play. I've seen 2 massive things there that really excite me. And Jack says that he's excited about what's to come. I think so am I. I really am. So if I just break them 2 things up, maybe Atani, you take like the tactic side about what you've kind of seen different, and then Andy, you kind of touch on like the man management side, and then I'll go back to Jack after then.
Yeah, so I'll start.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, the Rangers game was a bit more, he was shouting from the sidelines, of course. He was telling the players to hold the ball and, just don't pass it the minute you get. So the hold-up play has improved a lot. The centre-back positioning has improved a lot, in my opinion, from last season. We were playing on the wings, we were playing from the centre, and, there was a certain link-up on the left side, Carrie Jones, Leah Garton, Ivana Fuso coming in, and then immediately the ball from the wing went into the center, and then back to the wings, and then to the center. So there was unpredictability from the opposition. Like the opposition must have thought, okay, this side is unpredictable, and that is one of the reasons why we scored 5 goals that day. And we saw that Rangers were playing bit of a low block. I mean, they were all crowded into their own half. But we managed to score 5 goals, and I think Mark Skinner being more vocal from the sidelines obviously improves the tempo and the motivation for the players. So that's a positive. And I think I am very impressed by the hold-up play and the centre-back positioning.
Yeah, and obviously picking up the second part of what John was saying, I mean, before I do, I just want to point out to everybody this time next week, we already would have kicked off. I just wanted to take a breath on that, because how great is that going to be? We are literally less than 1 week away now, But yeah, I mean, I'm at like that. Obviously, early days. Obviously, I'm nervous, but I'm really excited. I think it's a fresh broom. As I say, we were happy with what Casey was doing, but we needed to change a little bit towards the end of last season. I always found that she was all right at setting up, but again, like Jack said, she kind of picked the same players irrespective of form. She was all right at doing changes. but it's at half time going into the second half. But when she got shocked, or if there was something to do in the middle of the first half or second half, a structural change, a shout on the sideline, I didn't see it. And I think Mark might have that man management style. I mean, obviously, you look at Birmingham. I saw when he left to go to Orlando. All the players ran over to him, and went on his final game, and he obviously builds that camaraderie. And I think, it would have been maybe more reassuring to get someone with a proven pedigree, but I think you just got to look at a few things, By getting Mark, I think he's one of those people that is going to add value to the club. If you're going to add value to existing players, you bring up everybody, and you're going to hopefully leave a bit of money in the pot to then go for other players. If you get an expensive manager that's got a trophy cabinet, okay, you might be more likely to get success, but you might not have any money to replace or to build up depth or anything like that. I mean, that's the first thing. And also, the January transfer window is there for a reason. People use it. And I really think that, that Casey forgot that point, or whoever forgot that point. And I know the idea about you get the team together in September, we live and die together, we move all the way through. But it's not an Amazon Prime documentary. It's a football team. Use all the quality that you've got. Use the fact that in January you can move players in. You can move players in. Use the opportunity to refresh. It's there for a reason. It's like being allowed, 3 substitutes or 5 substitutes and only ever using 2, because ideologically we don't like using 3. Use all the qualities that you've got available. So I'm really glad that maybe we will see people in January. But I think, I love hearing him getting interviewed, apart from anything else, because he winds me up no end in a great way. He talks about, I think in one of his interviews, he said that apart from dealing with the players day to day, the second pleasure is dealing with the fans. I mean, and obviously we've all seen that comment he made to you guys who did manage to go up to Rangers. And let's be honest, that's goosebumps. I would have given my right arm to be there. And what a fantastic thing to do to recognise that. And, and it's made me even more wound up and mental, ready to go, for next Friday. And I think to be honest, the final couple of points I would also say is Skinner has done WSL with Birmingham. He's not set the world alight with the NWSL. I don't think he would be stupid enough to come back into a situation where he'd have one end times by his back. I think the resource situation is a hell of a lot better than certain news outlets have said it is. I think he's going to have the support, because he would have never signed on the dotted line without it, because if he does flop at United, he's not really going to get another chance in WSL. I think he would have had reassurance that he's going to get backed, and he will get backed. And I think, he would have only made the move with a real belief that he could do something with his club. And I think, definitely next season, we could maybe get third, at least keep where we are now. And then suddenly, just like the men's, the magic candy shop is open for Champions League. And then suddenly more players come in. So I'm very positive about Skinner. Can't wait to see him. I'll probably shout, well, I can't know if anyone can be as loud as you, Nat. Second loudest to Nat on the sideline, and I can't wait for Friday.
Excellent, yeah. And you made a couple of good points there. And Jack and Andy both made references to Skinner's time in the NWSL. Just another plug for the show that we did yesterday, because we actually went into a lot of detail regarding his time in the NWSL, and not everything is as it seems. So please check that one out. Kathleen's in the comments. She was the one who was actually on the show giving us all the information about his time over there, and it's really good to listen to. Jack, I'm going to end the show with you for like the last 5 minutes. First of all, as Andy quite rightly said, in a week's time, we'll be at that Reading game, and something to massively look forward to, of course. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on, with 1 week to go, what are your personal emotions, about getting back to a game. And secondly, the breaking news today of our men's team signing Ronaldo. So just a couple of positive points there to talk about to close the show.
So delighted, obviously, that we're going to be back in person, going to be back supporting. And I think, for a lot of us, it will be, quite emotional as well, to be honest. Like, even thinking about it, talking about it, I can, just feel something. And I think we chatted about it in private, that bring on United, like maybe 5-10 minutes before they come onto the pitch. It will be very, very special. So obviously looking forward to it. It's been a very, very long time away. And I'm very grateful that finally we can come back, and hoping for the best from it. And, it will be amazing. It will be amazing. No matter, obviously we want to go and win the game, of course. Although I did kind of laugh, we have to win the game. That's United mentality there from that. And I do love it. At the same time, you do have to take into consideration that this is the first real match, and just give it time and see how it goes. All due respect to pre-season, the season starts next week, and that's when it really matters. But I do agree. I do like his. I mentioned before, and Andy's mentioned, and you've mentioned, John, about his character, positive attitude. And I think that there were many times, all due respect, last season, where Casey had a bit of the Jose in her, I think. She was a bit, you could see it on her face, that she not happy, and it's good to bring someone in that has a bit of oomph about them, a bit of light, and let's go get them, rather than, oh dear, here we go again, so I am very much looking forward to it. About Ronaldo, what can you say? I'm amazed. I'm shocked. I think nobody could have expected this day. It's been bantered for years. Ever since he left for Real Madrid. Oh, when's he coming back? When is he coming back? Might he come back this year? He's not happy at Real Madrid. Maybe he'll come back. Maybe he'll come back. And to think that it's finally happened, and in the circumstances that it has, where I can tell you where I heard it first. I was on a Zoom call. I'm tutoring 3 students ahead of their bar mitzvah, a Jewish celebration ceremony. So 3 students, I'm tutoring them online through Zoom. And one of them said, and you right at the end, Ronaldo's coming to United. And I said, you sure? I heard you're getting it wrong. It's City. So he said, no, he's come back to United. So, really? So I was completely caught off guard with it. And it was, I'm very happy. Listen, I'm not entirely sure that he is what the team need. I think that, we're crying out for a defensive midfielder in the men's team, like a proper destroyer. In a perfect world, we'd buy a time machine and get Roy Keane back. But, that hasn't happened. Okay, we still need that. He is, mid-30s, 35, 36 now. Yes. But his experience, his pedigree, and beyond that, just that feeling. I tend to be very analytical about things and try to be logical and don't get swept up in the nostalgia of things and blah 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 blah. But just to see again Ronaldo and United again together, it feels like he's come home. And the thought of, I put in a WhatsApp group of us fans, the thought that, again, we'll be hearing across Manchester the proper chants of Viva Ronaldo, and plays on the left, plays on the right, makes City look. So, what can you say? It's special, even for someone so cold and analytical and logical and heartless like me.
No, you're a teddy bear, really.
Yeah, I am a teddy bear, really. Just to think about it, it does something for me. So what can you say? It's an exciting time to be a United fan.
And that's a great way to end the show. Thank you for coming on, Jack. Really appreciate it. We'll try and get you on again where you can be on for the full hour and hear even more from you. Thank you to everybody in the comments. I know there's a few people in the comments who will probably see for the first time or the second time in Dennis's case next week. A few people on screen that I'm looking forward to seeing again very soon as well. So it's been a cracking show. Thank you to everybody for joining in. Please hit the thumbs up. As Natalie said, join us on Instagram as well. And also vote for us at the FCAs. It's all on our Twitter. It's on our pin tweet. So All for United, WFC. It's all on there. Please check us out. Plan for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, Saturday Night Live with Ben and Matt. Monday is an extra long show. It's bank holiday. And it's obviously the build-up to WSL, the first game. So we've got a bit of a longer show. 7 till 9-ish. You may run over. It may not. Depends on how many people we get on. But, yeah, really looking forward to that one as well. And everyone enjoy the weekend and have a good night, guys, and we'll see you very soon.
Viva Ronaldo! Viva Ronaldo!